If you watched last week, thanks for coming back. And if you didn't watch last week, go back and take a look. But welcome to this week. This weekend, there was some pretty cool stuff if you watch football. The divisional championship series took place on Saturday and Sunday, and there were some pretty cool things that happened. For one, I thought it was pretty cool that three so-called journeyman quarterbacks are in the conference championship games next week. The one lone so-called superstar is Tom Brady, and I know there's a lot of New England Patriot fans out there, so congratulations to you on that. But that's kind of expected. Tom's kind of a good quarterback, and everybody expects him to win. But the others, I don't think people expected that to happen. And I think it's pretty neat when the underdog wins, unless of course you're rooting for the expected favorite. If that's your team, then it's not always exciting. But I think if you look at the deeper story, you can find something pretty neat in it. And the Case Keenum story with the Minnesota Vikings is pretty cool, I think. For a guy that many have told over the years he couldn't make it. This was a guy that I think threw for more yards in college than anybody in history, I think. I might be wrong, but I think I did hear that. So he can throw the football. But at the NFL level, things are different, and people expect different things. But he's been here and there and around, and never really made it. But lo and behold, he's in the championship game next weekend, and if he wins that, he goes to the Super Bowl. It's pretty cool. But he never gave up. He was told over and over again, "You're not good enough." Blah blah blah. He was cut. He was, he had to make decisions in his career whether or not he was going to continue, and he continued, and it paid off. Even if he doesn't win next week, it was a pretty tremendous accomplishment. But if he does win, wow, dang, what a story. He's going to have a lot of interview time the week leading up to the Super Bowl if that's the case. But anyway, I just think it's a neat story for all of us who, may have been told before that, you can't do it, you're not good enough, that if you really believe in your heart that you can do it. Don't listen to the people that are telling you not to do it or you can't do it, because if there's a dream that's been put inside of you, it's there for a reason. You have that dream within you. It doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. If that dream is still there and it hasn't come to fruition yet, it's still there, and it can blossom into something fabulous, not only for you but for those around you. So I encourage you, if there's a dream inside of you, no matter what your age, if you haven't seen it come to fruition yet, start digging, start believing in yourself, because you can do it. That dream, I believe we were all created for a purpose on this earth, and that dream, I believe, was put there by God, and he doesn't let things die. He wants them to grow and to flourish, because he created us for a purpose, to make this place on earth a better place. And we all know, as for those of you who listened last week, there's a lot of negativity in this world, and I believe that we can all play a part in bringing some love and some excitement and some joy to not only ourselves but to those around us. So look at things like the Case Keenum story, and Nick Foles with the Eagles, Blake Bortles with the Jaguars. These are all guys that have just kind of never been at the top of the list. If you talk to people about who they're going to start their franchise with, oftentimes those guys are not the ones that they talk about. But these guys have all made it, and they've all succeeded. And so there's something to be said about that. When you believe in yourself, that you can do what some people call impossible. There's another story that was inspiring to me. It was about two young men that grew up in Louisiana. They grew up with a single mom. Their dad wasn't in their life, and they grew up and were educated. They stuck their nose in the books, and they learned things, and their mom, I'm sure, was very strong and emphasized the importance of that. But something within them, these two young men, one's 16, one's 18, they're brothers, and something within them kept them going. I don't know what it was. I'd be curious. I wish I could talk to them because I would love to find out what drove them, because there were times they didn't have food. Mom was working a lot of jobs and trying to make ends meet, but it was tough. But these two kids, for some reason, they kept going to school. They kept their education first place in their life, and for some reason they were able to persevere. A lot of times a story like that ends in heartache and pain, but in their case it ended up with success. The 16-year-old, I can't remember if it was the 16-year-old or the 18-year-old, but one of them got accepted into Harvard, and one of them, the other one, whether it's a 16 or 18-year-old, I don't know, but the other one got accepted into Stanford and Harvard. I'm not an education expert, but I think it's pretty tough to get into those schools. You have to really have your game in order to get in. They only take the best of the best when it comes to accepting students for their colleges. And the best part is it's full ride scholarship, man. They got full rides to Harvard and Stanford. The mom was ecstatic. She was blessed beyond belief because there was no way she was going to be able to afford that for them. But there's something that was inside of them that said, "Hey, you guys can do it. You guys can make it." And maybe it was the mom. Maybe it was faith in something. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't heard their whole story other than just the details of it that I mentioned earlier. But again, it's a story of succeeding in the face of things that didn't indicate you were going to be able to do that. I believe that we all can do what we set our mind to do. And often I hear, yeah, but I can't, do it because of this. My family wasn't that great, or I wasn't raised in a place where we had money, we didn't have resources, etc. But there's a lot of stories like these two young men where they didn't have anything, except for the love of their mother and their love for each other, and they succeeded. And I'm sure if you look in history, there's a lot of others. I heard a story this morning about Henry Ford, filed for bankruptcy 5 times in the process of getting Ford Motor Company running. So there's a lot of examples out there of people who fail and fail and fail, and probably are told over and over again that you can't do it, you can't make it, but for some reason they persevere. So anyway, I'm going to keep it short today. I'm finding that even this is only my second one, but these guys that do YouTube videos over and over and over and over got to be pretty disciplined. This week I promised myself I was going to do these every Wednesday. I was going to post a new one, and already here the second one. I've got a road trip for work. I'm on the road, and it was difficult. I had to make time and figure out a time that I was going to do it, how to upload it, over Wi-Fi instead of my home network, and so on and so forth. So, but anyway, those are just hurdles and obstacles again, but I'm going to get past them. I'm going to look past them. I'm going to do what I need to do in order to make this happen. And I hope that you guys are getting something out of it. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have any comments on, again, anything you'd like to hear about or talk about, leave them in the comments below. And your encouraging comments would be appreciated as well. So anyway, go out, set your heart on that dream, set your mind on that dream, and accomplish what you were created to do. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.